Well, musical Monarchy was quite a musical spectacular. I am Ian Hutch alongside Zion Rotten.
Hello.
And welcome to the Musical Monarchy Post Show. This hopefully won't be as long as the Musical Monarchy pre-show. We're just going to reflect a little bit on the show of Musical Monarchy and how it went down. We started off with Mobius versus Vanessa. Let's take a look at some exclusive photos from that as we're talking here. And it was quite a match. Mobius was able to turn things around at the last second. And like we said before, Vanessa tends to play mind games, but they don't seem to be taking a toll on the brain of Mobius, at least not yet. Not at all. And he was able to turn things around and pick up the victory, but then afterwards he came out to Musical Monarchy and talked about... He came out at Musical Monarchy and he was interrupted in his victory celebration by Vanessa when she had some words for him and she challenged him to a graveyard match. Now, we didn't talk about this at Musical Monarchy. We didn't address this. But Vanessa did challenge Mobius to a graveyard match at... she did challenge him to a graveyard match. And this graveyard match, I will let you know, will not be happening at Darkest Hour. It will be happening just exclusively here on our YouTube channel. It will be internet exclusive. But let's talk about this. A graveyard match. It will be the first ever graveyard match here in PWF. What are the stipulations? How does that work? What do you think, Zion?
I'm not sure about this. Like, where can you have a match on a graveyard? Like, there's headstones everywhere, there's tombstones. Is there going to be a park at the graveyard?
Well, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I guess
I don't know what she has planned, but I do know something.
We're just going to have to see. We're just going to have to wait and find out, but Vanessa, I'm sure, as usual, has got something up her sleeve for this match. And those headstones and those tombstones you were talking about, I swear, I promise, I can almost guarantee that those will be used to the advantage of Vanessa. I mean, this is kind of her,
This is her home turf.
This is her home turf here, yes. This is her Parts Unknown. See, Mobius and Vanessa are both from Parts Unknown. Mm-hmm. And this is kind of on Vanessa's turf. This is her Parts Unknown. So we'll see how it all plays out, and we'll see how it unfolds. One thing's for sure, it will be quite intriguing, and it will be something you will not want to miss. So that will be an internet-exclusive match here on our YouTube channel. You're going to want to stay tuned for that. And now we move on to the El Uno Esqualito versus Abstract Dance-Off. You didn't catch this because you left and you couldn't stand this malarkey, I guess.
I wish I could say I missed it.
Well, you did miss it. You were somewhere else. You said you were blowing your nose. You were somewhere at the bar or somewhere. I don't know, but you were somewhere. I don't know where you said you went. One thing's for sure, though. You weren't here, and I had to commentate the dance-off by myself. It was something to see, though. El Uno Esqualito versus Abstract. But what was more to talk about is what happened afterwards. El Uno Esqualito and Abstract kind of got engaged in this gibberish gibberish/Spanish verbal dispute, this verbal debate. I'm not exactly sure it all went down, but from what I could hear, it sounded like something like a Halloween street fight or something about Darkest Hour. If they're talking about a Halloween street fight at Darkest Hour, I am down to see that. I'm hoping you're down to see that because that would
I should be down to see that.
Well, it would be the first match in their feud.
Mm-hmm.
Not had an actual just steady wrestling match. Arm wrestling competitions and dance-offs are nowhere near actual wrestling matches. See, this one would be an actual match between the two of them. And if that actually is going down, and if I translated that right, I will be happy to call that match, and I will be glad to see it, and I'm hoping all of you would be glad to see it. And now we move on to the main event. Red Ensley versus Rocket Boy. It was a back-and-forth match, actually. Rocket Boy ended up taking frequent breaks during the match. A little unacceptable behavior from the champion, but he just felt he deserved some breaks during the match. Just not something you do in wrestling, but apparently since he's the champ, he feels he can do what he wants. Nevertheless, it was a match for the ages, but at the end, the ending just wasn't satisfying for the fans. I was not satisfied by the ending when Rocket Boy took his title belt and nailed Red Ensley in the face with it. And that is how he got himself disqualified and ended the match, just for the reasoning that he wouldn't have to continue to defend his title. It was obvious that he felt some sort of threat from Red Ensley, otherwise he wouldn't have done that.
In Darkest Hour, I hope something reads. I hope Rocket Boy gets to some therapy or something going on, because this is a dark turn and he just keeps spiraling downward and soon he's going to crash. And
Absolutely. I mean, he
his
used
career in wrestling may just disappear if he keeps this up.
Absolutely. You know, he picked on Joe Macho for pulling off shenanigans like this, you know, trying to go out of jump through every hoop, trying to go through every obstacle just so he wouldn't have to defend his title formally, and now he's being such a hypocrite because he's doing the same thing. But after the match, I left you, unfortunately, at this table, and I took it to the hall to record myself live and stream it out onto the Pentatron to vent my frustrations at Rocket Boy and schedule an official main event for Darkest Hour, Rhett Ensley versus Rocket Boy, the rematch, no disqualification for the Pentagon Wrestling Championship. So I'm sure this match sparked even more rage than there was before inside the mind of the country gentleman Rhett Ensley, and I'm sure he's even more pissed now than he was before, now that Rocket Boy took this easy way out to defend his title.
Definitely.
So this match has even more heat and more momentum coming up on it, and that main event at Darkest Hour, and Darkest Hour as a whole, just is spiraling to be an event that you will not want to miss. So that will be on YouTube, let's say in October, within the next couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
But we will be happy to see that, and we're going to be happy to call that.
Definitely.
And don't miss it. But thank you for joining us for Musical Monarchy, as well as right here on the Musical Monarchy Post Show. I'm Ian Hutch.
And I'm Zion Rotten.
And we will see you at Darkest Hour.